Oops, that's not going to work too well, is it? Because what is that wheelchair for them? It's their sense of mobility, right? So if I'm learning from a transport standpoint, then when I evacuate someone, their chair has to go with them. That's part of them. And that's their independence. And I don't want to add to their psychological contract. Right? So that's an important part. So then when they show up in the shelter with their wheelchair, that's a good thing. Right? So we heard some things like that. We also heard about space allocation. Do you have enough space? Do you need more space in the shelter? If that's something that we need to know, let us know. Tell us what your needs are. Right? Equipment, adaptive technology. I think one of the things that we picked up was the need for several power cords. Power cords? Huh? Okay. Are you watching TV? What are you doing? No, I'm charging my chair. Okay, that's important. So, again, there's an opportunity to make improvements so that we can do things better the next time around, right? All right. During the risk management, and this is immediately after things started settling down, shelters were closed, and we're finding out as we're going into disaster assessment and the area that was impacted. Now we had, I think it was almost 200 volunteers that came in from all over the nation. Well, that was different. How do you handle that? That's a lot of people all of a sudden, right? So our volunteers then, who are familiar with our partners, are living here in Colorado Springs, then need to continue to work with our partners because volunteers that are coming in from outside, and I mean they came from all over, bless their hearts, right? So volunteers from Missouri, volunteers from New Jersey, that's where I'm from, we'll talk about that later. Volunteers from California, everywhere. We're like, hey, you're in trouble, you're one of our brothers and sisters, and we're here to help. And that was wonderful to have that many hands on deck. Why? Because when you're working at sheltering for 5 and 7 days straight, you're tired. And you got to be able to have those rotations and an opportunity to rest, come back, and do it all over again, right? So what we learned is we can't take a volunteer that came from outside of the area and put them in with our partners in the EOC. What does EOC stand for, anybody? Emergency Operations Center, but you know what happens when I assume. So that's why I want to make sure. Okay, so in the Emergency Operations Center, that's where all of these different decisions are being made. You know, who's going to do what, what's our next plan for the service delivery, and they're going to ask questions about our partners, who's going to be able to deliver what, and someone from the outside says, I don't know. So we don't want that to happen going forward. So that's an opportunity for improvement. Is it bad? No, it just is. But if we don't ask these questions, we won't learn that. Now here's another thing that we did, and that is, it's not enough just to get the information from those that are affected, but it's also important to get those from the agencies that we can count on. Everybody know what ADA stands for? I heard it from somewhere. Disability. So there's a couple different agencies, and you may have seen write-ups in the paper on these agencies, but that's not what I'm going to speak of. What I'm saying now is, what can we do with this opportunity? How do we make it into a positive? So, one, there's a couple things that you want to think about. Anytime you say, I'm going to be ADA compliant, you know what, everybody gets all excited, oh my gosh, I'm going to be ADA compliant. And that's true to some extent, except for one thing. I don't own the building. So then how do I deal with that? If I don't own the building, and I'm asking the owner of the building, may I use your facility as a shelter during emergencies? And they say, by golly, yes. Welcome, Red Cross, thank you so much. I'm going to sign on the dotted line, because I know that if anything happens to this building, you'll replace it, you'll clean clean it, you'll turn it back to me in the same condition.